you for joining us at the 30. Make sure that you like and share this broadcast. Pass it on to someone else. We are going to talk today about entrepreneurship in the virtual space, and I have our special guest is Ericka Bates, and she is an entrepreneur, coach, and a virtual talk show. She has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to tech and helping others build their businesses. So I am going to bring her in, and we're just going to have a great conversation. So Ericka, thank you for joining the 30. I want to thank you for coming on. I know I've watched you over the last months, and you have some tremendous guests, and you are doing great things and just a wealth of knowledge. So thank you for taking the time to be here with us this evening. Let our viewers know, who is Ericka and what does she do? What is she all about? Tell us about Ericka.
Well, thank you for having me on your show. I appreciate it. I am a virtual summit strategist. I help you plan, organize, and pick virtual summit platforms. I help you set them up, and I help you host or stream produce, and I help you repurpose your content.
Awesome, awesome. Now, we said that you are in South Carolina. Is that where you're from? Born,
Yep,
bred?
all of that.
All of that. Okay, great. So, when you talk about helping others, you've said that you are a strategist. What does that mean to the average viewer or listener?
So, some people either they're nervous or they're scared, and all of the virtual summit platforms that are out there, it's too much for them. So, once we have a conversation about what your goals are for virtual summits, I can help you pick the platform that's right for your event, and that's part of
Okay.
the strategy.
Oh, nice. Okay. And how long have you been doing that, Erica?
For about 2 years now.
2 years. And
hmm
what made you go down that road of becoming a virtual strategist, an entrepreneur? What took you there?
Well, I've always wanted to host events in person, and every venue I went to, they told me that's a nice idea, but we don't need you for that. We can do that ourselves.
Wow.
So the internet never told me no. The internet didn't mind. The internet didn't care. The internet let me do what I wanted to. And if somebody else wanted to do it too, they could. The internet was available for anyone to use.
And did you go to school for it? Did you take any courses on it? How did you learn about all this internet stuff?
I went to school for a lot of things, graphic design, marketing, A plus hardware and software. Uh, but no, I didn't really go to school for it. I found Hey Summit via AppSumo. And Hey Summit was offering a boot camp of how to use their platform. And I started doing it after that.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, as an entrepreneur, you mentioned that you had a lot of no's, and that's pretty much how entrepreneurship is, right? You have an idea, you have a plan, and then you try to execute on it, and there are some dream busters that says no, 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 no. What kept you going?
Well, nobody ever said I had a bad idea.
Hmm.
They just didn't want me to do it. They wanted it for themselves. And if it was good enough for somebody to take it, that meant I had a good enough idea for me to try it on the internet.
Okay. Good. Now, looking at what you do, Erica, who are your clients? Who do you focus on or market to?
Well, I thought my target audience were business coaches, but it turns out all of my content for how-tos for virtual events are for event planners.
So so that's more of who you target to, and that's your audience.
That's right.
Okay. And so how do you from a marketing standpoint, let's break it apart because I'm sure there are some out there that's watching or listening and saying, I would like to do what Erica is doing, but I just don't know how to. How would you answer that?
If you're scared, start with a live stream. And if you're really, really scared, ask someone you know who's also interested in that topic to be on that live stream with you. There's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, and it doesn't take long. You can start with a free Zoom account and push the more button in Zoom to go live. Just pick a
Okay.
platform and go live for about 15 minutes.
All right. So
That'll get you
yeah.
started.
So that's how you start. And that's how what we're doing now is actually streaming live, right? So we're using StreamYard, but we're streaming live to Twitter, we're streaming live to Facebook, and we're streaming live to LinkedIn. And we also will broadcast to YouTube. So is that how you recommend if you're scared, just get on and just
Yes.
stream? And I know for some people it's difficult. For me, it was okay. I don't want to get online and let people see me and making mistakes and so on. But you said just do it.
Yes. So when I first started, I hosted my own events, and that required me to get on camera to do interviews. So that's why I started my show, and that's how I hosted my first event. But now I'm doing events for other people. I don't have to be on camera. I just run the platform.
So you're more behind the scenes now as opposed to in front of the camera.
That's right.
Which one do you like best, in front of the camera or behind the scenes?
Well, I do like both, but I'm going to say I really enjoy setting up the platforms to making it do what I want it to do and making it uh, have the give people the reactions that I think will happen.
Okay, and you also have Erica, because I watch your live broadcasts online, and so you have a show. So you're actually doing both. Still, you're still in front of the camera and you're still behind. So let's talk about your show, your live virtual talk show. Let's talk about that. When did that start? What is it, and who do you have as your guest?
Okay, so the show is Talk Virtual. It airs live every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. I stream to 10 platforms. I can
Wow.
stream to more, but so far I've only set up 10. I use OneStream Live via Zoom and RTMP. I hook all of that stuff up to make it stream live. Um, if there's a glitch, I always have a backup, so I can stream supposedly live, but it's a recording.
Okay.
And that started January of this year.
Very nice. And what about your guests? What type of guests do you have? I see you have all different types of guests from all over the world. So let's talk about the different types of guests that you bring on, and how do you choose them? What's your strategy for selecting guests?
Well, I like business coaches and I like event planners because I think that's what I am. So I want people to know that if you need help with a virtual summit, there are people out there available that's willing to help you. Like some coaches want to know how to host a show or to stream or just the day-to-day production work of putting together an event. And event planners want to know the same thing. So those two together, just letting you know that there are people out there that are willing to help you put together an event.
Okay. Now you mentioned events, you mentioned conferences, and you mentioned summits. What
Mm.
is the difference between all three of them? Break them down for us, because I'm new to this game. I had an event, went virtual last year. That was my first virtual event. So this is new to me, and it's also new to a number of viewers out there. Some have not even gone to a virtual event or summit or conference because we're so accustomed to in person. But because of the pandemic, we've had to put everything online. So let's break it down. What is a virtual event or conference or summit?
Well, right now this is a virtual event.
Okay.
Anything online can be an online event. A virtual summit, I like to recommend 10 to 12 speakers because that makes a good portfolio.
Hmm.
A conference would be like a large scale summit
Okay.
with like 100 or so speakers.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've actually run that in terms of 100 or so speakers. Is that Is that a standard for you, or do you go on the small side, or both?
Um, well, the largest one I've ran so far had 20 speakers, but I
Okay.
do like the small ones because I think if you give too much information, people tune out. So I want just enough for people to have the takeaway you want them to have, because if they come away with a takeaway, they'll remember you longer
Hmm.
and maybe come back for more content.
And then how long does your summit or events go, or conferences? Is it 1 day, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 days, 3 days? What's the sweet spot for you as a host?
I like 1 day, 8 hours, or 3 days, 8 hours.
Okay, so 1 day or 3 days. And I assume that your topics may vary over the 3 days. Is that how it goes?
No, you want to have one topic and you want to break that one topic down into categories. And you
Okay.
don't want it to be too broad. You want to stay in that narrow niche focus. That way, let's say we're hosting an event about promoting your event.
Hmm.
So you're going to have email marketing, you're going to have social media marketing, and you're going to have, let's see, stages
Okay.
and live streams. Let's say those are your topics. So you have that one category or that one topic, and you're breaking it down to smaller categories.
And you help event planners, as you said, or those that want to put on a conference or summit. You and your company help them from beginning to end.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Is there a lot of I'm coming from an entrepreneur side now. I'm looking at the dollar signs, right? In terms of serving others, is there money involved in helping others put on their event?
Yes. It's not a business if you're not asking for money. So
Oh,
you got to ask for some money.
and let's talk about that. How do you go about, Ericka? Do you have a set amount for certain events, or do you work with those that are putting it on and come up with a budget? Do you give them how much it costs, or do they tell you what their budget is?
Well, we go over their goals.
Hmm.
I tell them what I can do, and for what I can do, I tell them my price for that.
Okay. All
So my
right.
starting price is 2,000.
Okay. So someone wants to put on an event. Is that for 1 day, or is that for a couple of hours, or is that for 3 days? How does that work?
So it also depends on what all do you want.
Okay.
What I do is I help you with a plan, and with that plan, we'll determine what platforms you want to use. Do you need more than one platform? Will you need affiliate links?
Hmm.
Will you need coupons? Would you like a logo or a custom CSS?
Now,
Like
what
the
is a
more
custom
custom,
CSS? See, these are foreign things to me, Ericka. And for our guests, they're probably saying, "What is she talking about? What's a CSS?"
cascading style sheets, but
Okay,
it makes like your background.
got it.
Um, you could put that in, or putting logos on things. Just if I have to make it, that's the more it'll cost. Like
Okay,
if you don't already come ready with your brand colors, your logo, your tagline, if you don't already have your ticket tiers, if you need a ticket tier strategy, I can help with that.
so you are
So
a full scale strategist in terms of working from beginning to end.
that's right.
All right. Well, hold tight. We're going to come back and we're going to explore more of what you do. And I know that you have something that's coming up. We're going to talk about your groups, and we're going to talk about anything that you have coming up in the near future. Hold tight, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. right, Ericka, we are back. So let's talk about the things that you have coming up. Let's talk about your groups and explore that a little bit more. What do you have on the horizon for your business?
So, the one group I have is a Facebook group, Coaches Host Engaging and Profitable Virtual Summits. And I have a mastermind group, the Virtual Summiteers. So, the Virtual Summiteers, we meet every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. We have a speaker the first of the month to hopefully talk about broadcasting or virtual summits or the business of virtual summits. The second Friday of the month, we will have a guest on who wants to host a virtual event, and we will help them put that plan together. The second and I'm sorry, not second, the third and fourth Friday of the month, we talk amongst each other. We will find a volunteer for the hot seat, and we will talk about their virtual summit business.
Okay. All right. If you have any questions or comments for Ericka, make sure that you drop them in the comments box right now, or if you want to do it after. But we invite you to drop it in the comments field right now so that she can answer those questions for you. So I guess I'm with you tomorrow. Is that considered being on the hot seat? So let me know beforehand.
No, the hot seat is just for the members. You will be our
Okay.
featured speaker for tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. Whew, boy. Let's say that wasn't in my contract. No, just kidding. I look forward to it because I've watched you over the months and I've seen what you're doing with your team and with your business, and I'm just amazed at the things that you're doing and the people that you have on. So just keep on doing that, Ericka. If you were to look back, if let's say a young Ericka, what would you tell a younger Ericka right now from your experience in terms of what you've learned?
I probably would have gotten the virtual events a little sooner.
Hmm.
I love graphic design. I'm not sad that I went to school for it. I still use it. I create banners for designs. I get to use the custom CSS features, and I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to offer that if I didn't go to school for graphic design. So yeah, it's just that I was sad when I couldn't find a job in graphic design, but I am proud that I freelance with my husband. We had an art gallery together,
Oh, very
and
nice.
yeah, so all of that I think led me here. So yeah, I just would have did it just a little bit sooner.
Okay, so start sooner, right? So
Hmm.
if you have a thought or dream or goal, just do it. Just don't hold back. You just go out and do it. Now is the time to just do it.
That's right.
Some people say, "Well, I got to get all my ducks in a row. I have to have everything lined up. I got to be perfect." And what you're saying, Ericka, is don't wait for that. Just do it.
That's right. I mean, if you truly are scared, there are people available that are willing to help you. All you got to do is ask.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you. So you said that you and your husband had owned an art gallery. So that means he's also on a creative side, or does the creativity come from you and he does something else?
Uh, I think he's way better at me than I am, especially with design, photography.
Oh,
His
wow.
paintings are amazing. Yeah.
Cool. And I see in the background that your children or your child is also creative in terms of painting. So is it he, she, what is your
We
person?
have 2.
Oh, two.
This one
Okay.
who insisted on having his work on the wall, he's 6, and, yeah, he loves all media, and, our oldest, she is a painter.
Okay, wow. So you have some creative children then. That's great. So they're learning from you and your husband examples in terms of just doing what they do best, right?
That's right.
So, Erica, let's look to the future. What do you have, or what do you see that's going to take place in the virtual space? Many people have talked about virtual versus in person or hybrid. What do you see taking place?
I don't see virtual going away. I
Okay.
see more people coming online, more people hosting events, only because of the analytics. You can count how many people come in as guests. You can count how many speakers you have. You can see if your guests enjoyed those speakers or not.
Mhm.
You can count your sponsors. You can see if your sponsors enjoyed being a sponsor for your event or not. So it's all things can be counted.
Okay. And that can't be really duplicated or done in person? Or
Not
is it
really.
not
I
really?
mean,
Okay.
yeah.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say you can have some counters, but that doesn't include the people who are snuck in through the back door, or if it's an outside event, people who jump the fence. Um, yeah.
What about hybrid? Where do you see this hybrid between between virtual and in person? Where do you see that going?
Well, I don't think in-person events are going to go away either.
Okay.
I do see a lot more AV companies being hired, a lot of cameramen being hired, people walking around with GoPros just so
Hmm,
they can record that event so it can be recorded or people at home can watch it live. So
good.
yeah.
So virtual is here to stay. So let's be
Hmm.
specific now with your company. Where do you see your company going? Let's say a year from now, 2 years from now. What are some of the things that you would like to do as an entrepreneur and and your company?
Well, I would still like to host in-person events. I
Okay.
would like to have my own building, maybe even have my own field for in-person events. I'm not going to stop doing it online. I hope to do more online next year. Yeah, and besides events, I want to go into group coaching and have more masterminds.
All right. Good. Good. So you have a plan.
Yeah.
Now here's a question for you. Is it written down or is it in your mind?
I'm not sure if you've ever heard of the profit pyramid before, but that is my plan, and I plan to move up through that, and it all goes down in January. So
All right.
wish
I
me luck.
like that. I like that. So you have it written down. It's a plan. See, that's what I'm talking about, Erica. Most people have their thoughts. They're dreaming it. They don't write it down. So I tell folks, if you don't write it down, in essence, it's a dream, right? It's a pipe dream. You have to write it down, be very specific about it. If it's something that you're looking to do, if it's an idea or a thought, write it down. As Erica said, she is going to do this in January. So just watch out for her. Any last words, Erica, before we go into the lightning round?
Okay, I just want people to know that is not hard to host an event. You can host an event via Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or YouTube. All you got to do is push the button to go live, and that's your
Awesome.
event.
Just hit it and go live.
Yes.
All right. So I want to, so we call this rapid fire, right? And we ask about 4 questions so that our viewers and listeners can know more about who you are. So let's do that now. What is the last leadership book that you've read?
Um, Manifesto. Win without pitching manifesto.
Win Without Pitching Manifesto. And who's that by?
Blair Enns.
Okay. Win Without Pitching Manifesto. All right. Cool. Your favorite place to vacation?
Myrtle Beach.
Close to home, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Your favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite TV show?
Supernatural.
Hmm. Favorite movie?
Um, The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Never heard of that one. Huh. Long kiss and good night. Never heard of that one. All right. Favorite quote of all times?
uh, If you wouldn't tell me it was rapid fire, I would have had one for you.
That's okay. So you can think about it, right? I give you a couple of seconds. So your favorite quote of all time, something that you, or your mantra, something that you always say or that you believe in.
Oh, my mantra, keep
Yeah.
moving forward.
Keep moving forward. Your mantra. Keep moving forward. I like that. Don't look back. Just keep moving forward. Ericka, I want to thank you so very much. This was uh, excellent. I hope our viewers and listeners gain something from our conversation. Anything that you want to say to our viewers or our listeners before we close it down?
If you need help, ask. There are plenty of people out here who are willing to help you.
And how would someone get a hold of you if they need help, if they need guidance from you, coaching, training? How would someone get a hold of you?
Um, I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. If you can't find me at Ericka Bates, then it's ESD Bates.
And it's Ericka,
KA.
right? Ericka Bates. So make
Yep.
sure that you contact her LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well.
Yep.
And Instagram, right? So under her name, contact her if you have any thoughts or ideas about virtual events, virtual summits, or conferences. Contact her and she will get you on the right track. Ericka, thank you. And we will see you soon. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow virtually.
Yep.
So have a good night and blessings to you and your family.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So we were just talking with Ericka Bates, and she's a virtual strategist, an entrepreneur, coach. Fantastic. If you need to get a hold of her, make sure that you contact her, Ericka, Ericka Bates, and you can contact her and look her up on all social media platforms. Well, that's it for us. We will see you next week. If you want to, if let's say you've missed any in the past, we've been on now for a year and a half, and if you miss any of our broadcasts, you can actually see them in replay. Go to our YouTube channel, look under the Jackman Group LLC, and you can see all of our previous broadcasts listed there. We're out. May God bless you and your family. We'll see you next week.